1971. We woke up in a different world, where the Cold War ended along with the Vietnam carnage. All because of the Dome. The Dome. A territory full of anomalous artifacts, phenomena, and organisms. We still don't know what it is. An alien city? Some kind of a testing ground or storage? Whatever it is, no living thing trapped under the Dome can escape it. Yet even this did not stop the research. The major powers created the CRONUS Corporation to develop and explore the Dome. Its secrets became a lucrative business. The Spires station was built on top of the Dome to export the artifacts and import supplies and personnel. The city of Crystal Sands grew at the foot of the Dome, eventually becoming a major transportation hub. All this required thousands of employees, and there was no shortage of candidates. Romantics, pragmatists, and adventurers of all trades swarmed recruiting centers around the globe, seeking jobs at CRONUS. You were one of those people. In 1976, your application was approved, and you went under the Dome towards the future. Whether a good one or a bad one, only time will tell. A guy wearing thick spectacles thrusts out a sweaty hand.
Monty James, Silverwing.
He glances down at your badge.
When I had the opportunity to look over...
Monty makes a ring with his thumb and forefinger.
You were number 63,784 on the waiting list, but you were lucky enough to get into the dome after only 60...
James smiles condescendingly.
Yeah, my little schoolboy nephew's the same. He loves all those bizarre space travel.
An uncomfortable silence. He taps the narrow... The orange is dressed in a new jumpsuit. The shiny badge on his chest reads, Quentin Bisley, laborer. He's side-eyeing the screen skeptically. Despite his tired, grim expression, his gaze is open and friendly. However, the general impression is unmistakable. There's something frightening about Bisley. The orange's face stretches into a broad smile, bearing his dentures to the world.
Like everyone, duh. In a black car, under guard. There's other guys, too. The ones who go through the front door.
He nods at the black-winged woman beside him. Her nose wrinkles in displeasure, but she says nothing. Quentin raises his hands to examine the devices.
They call them humane handcuffs. How about that? Truth is, there ain't nothing humane about them. They zap you real hard the moment you get your hands on a gun. But they sure look nice.
Bisley lowers his hands again and smirks. A tall woman is watching an ad playing on the monitor, arms crossed. The polished to a shine badge on her black overalls reads, Elsa Olafson, Security Service. She glances at you and offers her hand in a businesslike manner.
Greetings. Please take all necessary precautions. By that I mean, don't turn your back on him.
Elsa nods at the orange.
I just follow orders. Even if his crime was embezzlement, I have to keep him cuffed. Those are the rules.
Olafson shrugs in a sharp, mechanical way, as if racking the slide of an assault rifle.
Our friends from the administration didn't deign to inform me about this man's record. Could be I'm escorting a serial killer. It's corporate policy, you know.
She gives... A man with a mustache and a blue jumpsuit is standing at the window, studying the construction site below through the occasional break in the clouds. His badge reads Igor Patan, planner. The blue taps on the glass with one finger and gestures you to come and take a look. Seems like he doesn't speak English. A thin, pale young woman is sitting at the window, leaning against the illuminator. The glass is slightly fogged with her breath. She turns to you. Her shiny badge reads, Tomoko Kimura, physiologist.
We've crossed the border. No way back now. Even traveling by the funicular wasn't so thrilling.
The White presses small hands to her blushing cheeks.
You were thinking, why have no children been born under the dome? I've got a working hypothesis, but I'm not ready to share it yet.
She says softly, as if answering a question you didn't ask. Kimura peers through the glass in the direction you indicate.
Oh, that's the aircraft that crashed into the dome during the first expedition. I believe that's a wing fragment, and there's some white canvas. What do you think that is? Maybe a parachute?
The White shakes her head, bewildered.
I just can't believe it. It's all true. We're on our way to meet the future.
Kimura shoots you a surprised look.
You're familiar with the details of the briefing, right? To put it simply, the dome is a selectively permeable environment.
The White draws an invisible hemisphere in the air.
Inorganic objects may exit the dome without difficulty, but any living creature dies if transported back to the outside world. That's why we're all stuck here for an indefinite period of time.
Kimura is eyeing the dome's mesh, glittering in the sunlight.
Supposedly, it's something to do with the atmospheric composition, but it's a weak theory. The difference of the air within the dome is so insignificant as to fall within the margin of error. Or to put it more simply, there is no difference.
She shoots a quick glance at the silver and lowers her voice.
I heard a rumor, or a conspiracy theory, that we can leave the dome at any time. We've simply been told we can't. If you ever decide to test this hypothesis, don't forget to leave me something in your will.
Stopping by the door's porthole, you watch as the ground slowly approaches. It looks brown-black through the tinted glass and smoky blue at the horizon. It almost seems like the clouds are pulling apart there. Your eye is drawn to the cluttered eastern section of the dome, where you see a block of warehouses and something resembling an observation deck. The real dome doesn't resemble its image from the ads at all. There are no snow-white cities or vast highways to be seen here. Looking more closely, you can make out a single, lonely road leading north. A few sheds, a radar installation, and the glittering antenna of a radio tower emerge from the mists. Yes, engineers will have plenty of work here. Just as you're about to move away from the window, you notice a whirlwind beginning to form above the ochre plain. The gathering storm drifts unhurriedly above the desert, a crown of green lightning flashing at its core. Clearly no ordinary weather phenomenon. It must be one of those anomalies. You freeze by the window, unable to avert your gaze. The outlines of the landing site, blurred by clouds of dust, appear behind the greenish glass of the porthole. The capsule shudders as the braking devices engage.
Come here. Come on now, or you'll miss everything.
A cheerful man in a white lab coat grabs you by the sleeve. A badge reading Ludovico Nuzzi, scientific analyst, export department, dangles loosely on his clean uniform, which still smells pungently of washing powder.
Look over there.
He points upward with a sharp, wide gesture and hands you his field binoculars. You raise the binoculars to your eyes. Under fourfold magnification, the whirling cloud above the rust-colored plains looks even stranger. Its core glows with flickering green light and flashes rhythmically, and that rhythm seems to form a complicated pattern. Nazi bends close to your ear.
Fascinating. Do you want me to bring some filters? If we intercept the red and blue spectrums, we'll see something amazing. It's like a signal, some kind of message.
Without tearing your gaze away from the binoculars, you turn around slowly, studying the dome's horizon. It's somewhat unexpected that the dome looks horribly empty. Your eyes find some construction pits dug directly in the sand, and concrete blocks laid beside them. There are almost no roads, or not sealed ones. Only one highway with yellow surface marking stretches among the sand drifts. The scientist looks blankly at you, then down at his lab coat.
Ah, this? This?
Ludovico points at the building behind him.
I work in Concord Station, categorizing relics. My job is to classify them by rarity. Then the blues package them, silvers issue the documentation, and oranges move them to the cargo capsule. Just like the one you arrived in.
Nazi points upward.
Then the capsule takes the relics way up there, all the way to the spire, then to Crystal Sands by the funicular. They get auctioned off and turned into money. It's not like I endorse this, but we all like ourselves a good paycheck, right?
He offers you his binoculars once again.
Do you want to have a look at the spire? It's amazing. But then, you could look at the spire anytime. Now that sandstorm, that's what's truly amazing.
Nazi looks from you to the capsule and to the landing terminal entrance. He flings his arms up.
Oh, mi scusi. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. You'd better get going or you'll be late for check-in. Your colleagues are already inside. And the storm is growing stronger. Yeah, the storm is growing stronger.
The White mutters in fascination, eyes glued to his binoculars, which is fixed on the spinning whirl of clouds.
And I was starting to get bored. Come back again.
I'm listening.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Have a good one.
Howdy. I hope to see you again soon.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
Mr. Rayhead, would you bring me a cup of coffee, please?
CRONUS Corporation reminds you,
Well,
please
never mind.
use a public terminal to access your account. Thank you. Your Selectron has not been properly authorized. Please visit the reception desk to register.
A tall receptionist watches you from behind his desk with a bored, haughty look. He waves impatiently at you to approach. The employee glances at you indifferently. His upper lip is ever so slightly curled in contempt.
All new employees must register first thing. Come up to the desk, please.
The nameplate on the desk tells you you're talking with Dean Rayhead, administrator. The administrator slaps himself on the forehead.
Ah, I almost forgot the regulation pre-registration greeting. Just a second.
Rayhead produces a reel-to-reel tape recorder from beneath the desk, rewinds the tape to the beginning, and presses play. The speakers explode with a harsh, crackling sound, over which the tick-tick of a metronome slowly grows louder. Solemn music begins to play, and the administrator's face takes on a serious expression.
Dear employee, on behalf of the CRONUS Foundation, I, Administrator Dean Rayhead, welcome you to your new life under the dome.
The administrator clears his throat and continues.
By joining our company, you choose the path of science and progress. You are among mankind's best, and we ask that you live up to this.
Dean squints down at the monitor.
Deserve this title. Do your job honestly. Obey the law. Respect your colleagues and...
The music fades, and the administrator finishes his speech.
And together we will build the best possible future for all mankind.
Dean puts the tape recorder away.
Now that we're done with the official greeting, I'll register you and upgrade your Selectron. Okay?
The committee ads didn't lie. The interior of Concord Station looks just like the glossy brochure. The high ceiling is finished with matte light panels. The floor is slightly scratched, but nevertheless washed to a mirror finish. Lights gleam soothingly. It's clean, cozy, and bright. Dean stabs impatiently at the terminal keyboard.
Name and age, please?
Dean's hands hover over the keyboard. He gives you a nod. You spell out your first and last names and specify your wing, profession, and test results. The administrator's fingers fly across the keyboard as he enters your information into the CRONUS database. Rayhead scans the computer screen.
So your position in the waiting list was 63,784. You've been assigned to Magellan Station. A special bus will bring you there after a series of briefings. Please pass me your Selectron so I can update the firmware.
Dean snaps the docking port of your pass to a recess in the casing of his computer. The administrator returns your Selectron.
Now you have first-level clearance for a Blue Wing employee. You have access to storage, the repair bays, and various workshops. Your Selectron also has a built-in universal key that opens the hatches accessing the air shafts.
Dean continues.
All new employees have a short list of tasks to perform on arrival. Do you want to hear all the details, or just the short version?
Rayhead nods and points at the ceiling.
First, you need a set of combat gear. Talk to Sidney Maynard, he'll give you everything.
Dean extends his second finger.
Second, weapons. Ms. Margarita Takachenko is the clerk at the armory. After she dispenses your firearm, you'll need to head to the training zone for a brief weapons handling exam.
The administrator straightens his third finger.
According to the latest regulations, all employees must attend a briefing on psi abilities. Apply to instructor Andrei Mihai.
Dean extends his fourth finger and looks at you meaningfully.
Did I tell you about the combat and tactical training? The fourth step is to visit instructor Winston Botherby. And finally, science is the overarching purpose behind everything we do here. Go to Professor Van Alden to learn how to study relics, avoid anomalies, and catalog scientific knowledge. This training is mandatory for all wings, not just white.
Dean catches himself.
Oh, and when you're done with your trainings, proceed to the waiting room. From there, you'll travel to Magellan by bus.
The administrator looks up at you again.
That is all.
He reaches for the tape recorder, but thinks better of it.
Protocol calls for a little welcoming preamble, but dash it all, that's nonsense. Welcome to Concord Station.
As he's about to turn away, Dean suddenly remembers something.
Oh yes, I sent your mail to your Kairos. Check your new messages. Well, that's all, I think.
Mr. Rayhead, would...
Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
It was nice chatting.
How can I help? See ya.
Behind the storage counter, you see a small, neat guy. His gingery hair shines with something like brilliantine. His badge says, Sidney Maynard, storekeeper.
Oh, what a lovely angel. Came down from the heavens. Good morning, my lady. Is it something urgent? By the way, my name's Sidney. My friends call me Sid, though I prefer a different name. Want me to whisper it to you?
He smiles languidly, leaning on his elbows against the counter. The effect is more laugh-inducing than playful. Never taking his gaze off you, he reaches under the counter, loses his balance, and clips his chin on the desktop as he falls down. A full minute later, he reappears, grimly rubbing his jaw with a thick logbook. He thumbs through it for a long period, squinting nearsightedly. Eventually, he gives up the struggle and reluctantly puts on his glasses. The silver finally stops and pins down a particular page with his finger.
This is your first uniform requisition, right? You can also purchase any equipment you need for the desert directly from me.
Maynard smiles at you over his glasses, practically stripping you naked with his gaze.
Your voice is enchanting, my lady. I could listen to it forever. Right now, you need to listen to me. I am going to give you some instructions. These are the rules.
Sidney fiddles with his hairstyle.
So, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Life under the dome can be dangerous. You may get shot, spill acid on yourself, get electrocuted, or suffer the effects of a dangerous anomaly. You may also freeze to death or get fried. That's why it's important to wear protective equipment when traveling outdoors. Of course, in hazardous situations, the equipment will get damaged, and the more it's damaged, the more often one has to repair it.
The silver steps back from his counter to indicate the repair kit boxes piled in the back of the warehouse. He points back at the shelves behind him.
We've got repair kits for this gear. There are Blue Wing specialists ready to help you at any large base, of course, but they're not always available, so you'd better learn how to use repair kits and workbenches on your own. It's a useful skill.
Sydney leans on the counter again and throws you a lazy wink.
No one would ever say no to a cutie pie like you, though. Those are all the instructions, by the way. Shall we get to the giving part now?
The silver disappears into the back for a while and returns with a small package. Unfolding the package, Maynard shows you a brand spanking new uniform. Sydney half unfolds the clothes. A jacket, high boots, and turnip pants with patch pockets.
The technician's uniform screams function over fashion. Parts of the uniform are rubberized to protect you while working with electricity.
He raises a finger.
One more important thing. In accordance with Order 16-225, helmets and gloves are not issued, but they're available for purchase from me. Please bear in mind that a full set includes headgear or a mask, jacket, trousers, gloves, and boots.
Sydney hands you the package.
Here's your uniform. Enjoy.
The silver touches your hand lightly.
I just wanted to say, I'll be finished at 10 today. If you're free, we could go somewhere. Together, I mean.
Sydney playfully smooths down his... The silver assumes a serious expression.
There's nothing I can do about that. It's a result of the recent cost optimization order. Luckily, you can purchase these items from me. At market price, but yeah.
Sydney leans on the counter.
Honestly, lady, I'd sell you this entire place and give you an incredible discount if I could. But I'm not the one who sets the prices.
The silver winks at you.
Anything urgent, Mr. Krachkov?
Katarzyna, did you mark it as Class 1 again, instead of 2? Look, here's the scanner data. It says the relic is a scientific device.
Wait, but it's still Class 1.
The smell of good tobacco wafts off this tall, portly woman from a meter away. A black lacquered pipe, an open logbook full of signatures, and a metal flip calendar sit on the counter in front of her. A small nameplate reads, Margarita Tkachenko. The woman fixes her coppery hair with one hand and casually lights her pipe.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Her voice is deep and gravelly. Margarita thumbs back a couple of pages in her logbook.
I see. This was your first receipt.
She glances at her Kairos, looks at you, snorts, and retreats to the shelves. Tukachenko returns a couple of minutes later, carrying something that looks more like a toy than a weapon. The weapon seems weightless as she spins it around her finger.
I ain't telling you shit about this thing, 'cause that's exactly how much I know. Laser, schmazer, cadmium battery, fiberglass body, blah, 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 blah. You probably know more about it than I do. Here.
Margarita drags on her pipe and releases a puff of thick, yellow smoke.
I see you know the rules and won't cause problems.
Tukachenko bites down on the stem of her pipe.
Are you kidding me? I'm a different breed. One that doesn't understand toy guns. What if it turns out to be radioactive? Sorry, but I can't help you out on this one.
The Black regards the Andromeda suspiciously.
Fuck it. If it breaks, bring it back and I'll trade it in for another one. There was a little cloth in the box it came in for cleaning the lens. That's all I know.
The armorer shrugs, puffing indifferently on her pipe.
It's the least I could do. We have a requisition list from the Silvers. For free, you receive only rubbish. If you want the real deal, check out the weaponry shop. Or me. Wait a minute. Sign your name here in the meantime.
Margarita reaches under her counter and produces a set of ammunition.
A new set of ammo is issued for every task, but there's so much bureaucracy you'll go daft. Expenditure report. Form number 16. Disposal form. The Silver's running true to form. So if you need more ammo, I recommend you either search or barter for it. Or learn how to craft it on your own. These are useful skills. Trust me.
Leaning over the counter, the Black points somewhere off to one side.
Now it's time for your training. Botherby is already waiting for you by the big gate. He's a bit dotty, but a good man nonetheless. But before the training zone, go see that wizard guy with his toothpicks. Be careful around him, though. Don't let him pitch you a line. Psychic my ass.
She wins.
Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Tukachenko grunts a greeting with Tukachenko opens the... A lean Silver with thick black hair and a huge cigar clamped in his teeth is sitting in front of you. As you approach, he flashes a sly grin and slowly raises an outstretched hand above the table. Something really weird happens. All the paper clips, pencils, scattered toothpicks, and bits of trash float up from the table and hang in the air. The silver badge reading Andrei Mihai, Science Instructor, floats up as well.
Here for the briefing, huh? Shall we get to it?
He takes the cigar out of his mouth and exhales a lush cloud of smoke. The silver props his elbows on the table.
Anyway, here's the deal. It's more profitable for people with a high psyche to study psionics. Give me your hand.
Not waiting for an answer, he grabs your hand with strong, dark fingers. Andrei gropes your hand briefly, then lets go, disappointed.
The pills, huh? The anti-migraine, sleeping pills, neuroleptics, downers. What do you mean you don't take them? Well, off you go then. That means no talent, huh? Why waste time? No wasting time now. But alas, regulations demand it, so I'll give you a glove too. Regulations, huh?
The Silver takes a thin glove covered in talc from his desk and passes it to you.
Look, a glove, right? But it isn't just a glove. This is an ooh mama hold me tight glove. It takes energy from your noggin, your psyche, and pew, concentrates it.
He counts off on his fingers.
Learn psionics. Put on the glove. Transform energy into the necessary shape. That's the whole briefing. Simple? Simple. Now to your questions, huh?
The Silver takes a pull at his cigar and releases a self-important puff of smoke.
Psionics. It's a gift for all of us. The forefathers took off someplace. Poof, gone. Only the dome remains. And this. Psionics, huh?
He rocks back in his armchair, puffing on his cigar. The toothpicks again slowly rise up from the table. Mihai spreads his dark hands. Toothpicks hover around his head in a kind of halo.
Scientists say everyone has an organic skill called psyche. You have it, I have it, everyone has it, uh-huh. Big psyche, you got talents. Small psyche, no talents. You'll need to carry a lighter all your life.
Mihai spreads his hands good-naturedly as if to say, "You're welcome." The toothpicks on the table skitter around for a moment, arranging themselves into a curse word. The Silver laughs loudly at his joke. The cigar falls from his mouth to float in the air, ash flaking weightlessly from the tip. You don't have to ask him twice. Mihai picks up a light bulb from the table, gripping the base in his hand. The filament begins to glow faintly. Soon enough, it comes to full heat and glows bright orange. In a little over a second, the bulb is shining with a steady white light. The Silver laughs contentedly. It doesn't take the psychic long to think of something. A small 2-com bond coin jumps up from the table, and an invisible force folds it in half. The ruined coin drops into a glass already almost full of coins in the same state. In reply, Andre jumps up from his armchair and thrusts his face close to yours, exhaling foul cigar smoke.
Quickly, think of a number, huh?
The unexpected question calls a bunch of different numbers to mind, but you can't seem to decide on one. The Silver looks into your eyes.
3, 14, 13, 76.
He easily names every number you've got in mind. Mihai shakes his head wearily.
No, enough tricks. I'm exhausted. Psionics is... it requires strength. Drains you. Remember that, huh?
I'll complain to the Silvers about that idiot.
An engineer in a bright blue jacket is tinkering with the door lock, cursing under his breath non-stop. Blowing a curly strand of hair off his forehead, he turns to you.
You're a newcomer, right? It's a straight-up open house here today.
He offers you his hand. According to his badge, this is Maxim Penkovsky, technician. The technician slaps the door with one hand.
You have to wait until I'm done. Some orange jammed up the lock with chewing gum just for a laugh. They're like animals, those oranges, marking their territory. If you ask me, they're too gracious about those bastards in Crystal Sands.
Penkovsky grunts angrily.
I wish I could. I'm gonna have to disassemble, clean, and reassemble it to get it working. It's work I don't need, and all thanks to some idiot.
Maxime extracts a thin, sharp precision probe from behind his ear and dangles it in front of you.
Though there's another way. You want to learn something about picking locks? It's a useful skill in all sorts of situations.
He looks at you expectantly. Penkovsky shrugs.
Pick this lock specifically as much as you like. But in general, yes, it can be illegal if you try to get in where you shouldn't be, or open other people's lockers. No one will get upset if you touch an ownerless door.
The Blue's getting excited.
All right, looky here.
Penkovsky presses his pick lock, and an odd device resembling a hybrid of a screwdriver and a can opener into your hand.
Using a mechanical pick lock is easy peasy, no special skill required. They wear out after a few locks, while the old-fashioned kind is another thing entirely. Cheap, one use. but one has to know how to use it right. That's a tool for a master.
Maxime takes out another pick lock and crouches by the door. He gives you a quick lesson on how to pick a lock.
By the way, you can carry your tools in your belt. It's much handier to have them right there.
Penkovsky shows you his utility belt, where he keeps all kinds of tools and gadgets.
Actually, finding tools under the dome is no problem at all. There are even devices for hacking terminals and so on.
Mac the Blue solemnly raises his index finger.
And one more thing. Always use brand name stuff if you can. Groovy produces good kits. Modus and Supercolor do too. They've all got fat contracts with CRONUS, so they care about quality.
He looks at the door again.
Damn these locks. Though I'd rather be doing this than fixing hab pods. Those are a real pain in the ass.
Penkovsky gives you a patronizing look.
Because they're poorly made, warped from the heat, and the filters aren't worth a damn. The modules were constructed by marketing managers, not engineers. Building a city in the desert was also their idea. This project is all about PR. CRONUS wants to show the world how tough they are.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
I repeat, get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt. And then, you're doing great. All right, off you go. I'll keep working on this lock because of that orange. Hey-oh.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Welcome under the dome. An amazing excursion. Hiya! Have a good one.
You see a tall scientist in a white lab coat, bathed in the dim lamplight. He almost appears to be hovering above the laboratory floor. The man turns at your footsteps. He's holding a paper clipboard and a pencil. His shimmering silver badge reads Sebastian Van Olden. He glances from you to the glittering watch on his wrist.
I want us to respect one another's time. Please speak loudly, clearly, and to the point. You must be the newcomer I was told about. Nice to meet you.
Finished with his unusual greeting, he offers you his thin hand. The scientist puts the clipboard aside, raises his watch for a closer look, and sets the timer. He shows you his watch dial.
According to the rules of this briefing, I have to touch on a large number of topics. Therefore, I will do so very briefly. Do not interrupt me. When I'm finished, I'll answer your questions. Within regulations, of course.
Sebastian produces his handheld and clicks some buttons.
I checked your scanner. It's working and is connected to the Minerva database. Everything you scan will earn you CRONUS or Forefathers knowledge points.
The instructor watches you with displeasure.
Are you listening? Scan everything that might be of scientific interest. First of all, anomalies. They could be dangerous. Make sure to always have medication with you.
He places a canvas pouch in your hand.
This pouch is full of bolts. You can temporarily discharge an anomaly by throwing a bolt into it. It's primitive, but reliable.
Van Olden pushes a button on his stopwatch.
So, my oral briefing fell within the allotted span of time. Any questions you want to ask me?
Sebastian snorts skeptically.
Oh, great. You're even ignorant of the basics. Minerva is a mainframe located at Magellan Base, where you'll be going soon, by the way. The Minerva disk stores the database containing every piece of information about the Dome and the company's employees. It is thanks to this scanning that the database is constantly updated. Are you ready for the second part of the briefing, or do you have any more questions?
The instructor looks at his chronometer again. The white scowls in annoyance.
Do you know anything at all? What did you come under the dome for anyway? You get knowledge points for scanning objects. For scanning anomalies and relics, you receive forefather points. Scanning the company's property and employees, living or dead, earns you CRONUS knowledge points.
He explains with a sagacious expression.
You can exchange knowledge points for medication and equipment as part of the volunteer research program. Are you ready for the next part? The clock is ticking.
The instructor taps his watch meaningfully. Sebastian pulls a scanner from his pocket.
I will demonstrate this only once. To switch on the scanner, press the button on the right side of the manipulator housing. The scanning beam is narrow. It's intended to focus on one object at a time.
Van Olden turns on the scanner and continues.
My advice is to scan anything that might be of scientific or statistical interest. Relics, forefathers' objects, automatic doors, vehicles, vending machines, deceased employees.
He turns the screen so you can see it.
The scanner automatically transmits data to the Minerva system, and you receive knowledge points. Do you have any questions, or can we proceed to the practical part of our briefing? You'll need some one-use stimulator injectors, bandages to stop bleeding, and anti-radiation agents and radio protectors, including ARAD-3.
The white ticks these off on his fingers. He produces a black-capped, transparent plastic jar out of his pocket.
According to protocol, you should have this medicine. I'll give it to you as soon as we proceed to the practical part of the briefing. Are you ready?
The researcher winces.
Why do I have to spell out every single thing for you? Take a bolt, throw it at the anomaly, and it goes off. Any more questions?
The scientist glances at his watch again.
You're within the time limit for questions. The next step is training in the artificial ecozone.
He rests one finger on the button in preparation to start the timer.
You're going to go downstairs and scan relics. I will be monitoring your progress. Please note there are several radioactive anomalies in the ecozone. These are the same conditions you'll be working in the field. Radioactive zones and relics are quite common under the dome.
He smoothly extracts a jar of yellow pills from his pocket.
Here's your ARAD-3. And one more thing. Just a moment.
Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information.
Casinos, spas, and therapeutic saunas. I don't know about you, but I'm sure I'll come here in a year and will feel like a real queen. This is Victoria LeGrand, and the dome from the See you next time.
Please stand by for decontamination to end.
Van Olden gestures back at the ecozone.
You haven't completed scanning everything yet. Finish the task first.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Careful around the anomaly. One of them and you'll be injured. Toss a bolt of the anomaly to discharge it. Journal entry. A successful scanning attempt. You're doing all right so far. Go ahead. I'll keep an eye on you. Do it up.
Sebastian meets you on the platform.
Your finishing time is within the acceptable range.
He clicks the stopwatch button, fixing the result time. The scientist turns back to his notes.
Not bad. One question. You observed several anomalies while scanning. Why do you think they appeared? I'd like to hear your opinion.
The scientist assumes a superior expression.
I knew you'd come up with something like that. I see you understand nothing about the nature of anomalies. So let me add a couple of points.
He glances at the shimmering blue light in the eco-zone.
The truth is, we don't know the precise reason for these phenomenon either. We actually know nothing, no matter how much we try to convince ourselves otherwise.
Sebastian points a thin finger at the clustered lightning.
I personally believe that the anomalies are the dome's security mechanism. The ones you saw are relatively harmless, but there are different anomalies in the desert, phenomenon that toy with the human mind.
Van Olden clasps his hands behind his back.
I know you don't care, but I'll say it anyway. Scientists today are required to be wonder workers who can heal cancer with a wave of their hand and solve the secrets of the universe during their coffee break. For some reason, no one wants to understand that fundamental science is always an investment in the future. It produces no answers here and now.
The White's gaze strays back to his clipboard.
If something terrible happens under the dome one day, and I'm sure it will, science will protect no one. That is all. Off you go.
I don't know about you, but I'm sure I'll come here and hear.
The riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this.
Hello.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Bye-bye.
Excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization.
Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet. Listen to this information.
Please stand by for decontamination to end.
Margarita right on this. Sounds like a sci-fi story, but we aren't strangers to sci-fi here.
Glad to meet you.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Have a good one.
What an inhospitable wilderness, you'll say.
Welcome under the
And I fully agree with you. But what if I told you that in a year, you'll be lying by a swimming pool, sipping a margarita right on this spot? Sounds like a sci-fi story. But we aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detailed plans...
I'm all ears.
According to them, there will soon be a real resort city in the west. With bars, casinos, spas, and therapeutic saunas. I don't know about you, but I'm sure I'll come here in a year and will feel like a real queen. This is Victoria LeGrand, and the dome from the inside. See you next time.
Attention, attention. Please handle
Ladies
relics
and
carefully.
gentlemen, this
In
is
case of
the
damage,
dome
your
from
life
the
will be
inside.
forfeit.
With me, Victoria LeGrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans in the western region behind me. The sun reflects blindingly from the salt, and the air is as dry as a nun's gusset. What an inhospitable wilderness, you'll say. And I fully agree with you. But what if I told you that in a year, you'll be lying by a swimming pool, sipping a margarita right on this spot? Sounds like a sci-fi story.
Glad to meet you.
We aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detailed plans are ready. And according to them, there will soon be a real resort city in the west.
Wow, look what the wind blew in.
I don't know about
Our
you,
honest
but
work
I'm
will
sure
make the
I'll
world
come
a
here
better
in a
place.
year and will feel
World
like
a better
real
place.
queen. This is Victoria
Attention,
LeGrand,
attention.
and the
Please
dome
handle
from
relics
the
carefully.
inside. See
In
you
case
next
of
time.
damage, your life will be forfeit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the dome from the inside. With me, Victoria LeGrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans in the western region behind me. The sun reflects blindingly from the salt, and the air is as dry as a nun's gusset. What an inhospitable wilderness, you'll say. And I fully agree with you. But what if I told you that in a year, you'll be lying by a swimming pool, sipping a margarita right on this spot? Sounds like a sci-fi story. But we aren't strangers to sci-fi here.
Attention.
The detailed
Please
plans
handle
are
relics
ready.
carefully.
And according to
In
them,
case of damage,
there
your
will
life will
soon
be
be a real
forfeit.
resort city in the west. With bars, casinos, spas, and therapeutic saunas. I don't know about you, but I'm sure I'll come here in a year and will
Hello
feel
again.
like a real queen. This is Victoria LeGrand, and the dome from the inside.
Remember, our
See you
honest
next
work
time.
will make the world a better place. World a better place.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the dome from the inside. With me, Victoria
Bye-bye.
LeGrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans in the western region. The sun reflects blindingly from the salt, and the air is as dry as a nun's gusset.
A middle-aged black is sitting behind the counter with his hands in his lap. The buttons and zippers on his uniform are polished to a shine, and even his badge, Winston Botherby, instructor, has been buffed so much it hurts to look at it. Botherby frowns as you approach.
Your first act is being late for the briefing. You going to be late for your funeral as well?
The Black looks you over.
Yes, I see the weapon received checkmark. Looks like you are fully prepared to disappoint me. You are prepared, right, employee?
Botherby leans over the counter and directs you to the doors.
Behind this door is a combat simulation computer. Launch it and begin your course.
He raises his index finger.
The conditions in the training zone closely simulate those one would experience in the field. Your goal is to avoid getting lost and dying of dehydration. And try to aim the barrel away from yourself when shooting.
Pulling a notepad from his pocket, the instructor jots down your name.
Your goal is to hit 3 targets. I'm going to monitor you and advise as necessary. And try not to burst into tears. That's all. Go ahead.
This is the dome from the inside. Me, Victoria LeBlanc. A better place. As you can see, there are endless salt plants in the western region behind it. The sun reflects blindingly from the sun.
Botherby nods grandly.
You made it through training without making a total fool of yourself. Congratulations. I'll send a report up the chain about your completely unanticipated success. You're dismissed, employee.
On the this spot. Sounds like a sci-fi story. But we aren't strangers to sci-fi here. The detail...
Attention, attention. Please
Why do you keep bothering me?
in case of damage, your life will
What do you want?
work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
Come back again.
Our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Forgot something? I hope to see you again soon.
Hey, you're at it again, asshole.
Okay, you got me, Butch. Old habits. You know that.
Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Hi there.
Our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Glad to meet you.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Have a good one. Psst. Hey, you. Yeah, you, lady. Glad to meet you. It was nice chatting.
Attention, attention. Please
horizon seems to be clear.
What have you got, Ketch?
Landing zone is clear. No idiots. Over.
Copy, Ketch. Launching the cargo pod. Call the workers.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Wow, look what the wind blew in. It was nice chatting. Come back again.
Our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
Welcome under the dome. An amazing excursion.
Victoria LeGrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans in the western region
All
behind
wings,
me.
and receive a colorful leaflet.
Lightning from the salt, and the air is as dry as a nun's casket.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
What an ink.
Welcome under the dome. Information useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Sidney playfully. Sidney waggles his eyebrows. Sidney leans on the counter.
Honestly, lady, I'd sell you this entire place and give you an incredible discount if I could. But I'm not the one who sets the prices.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
The silver. Sydney leans on the counter.
Honestly, lady, I'd sell you this entire place and give you an incredible discount if I could. But I'm not the one who sets the prices.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place.
The silver.
World a better place.
Sydney leans on the counter.
Honestly, lady, I'd sell you this entire place and give you an incredible discount if I could. But I'm not the one who sets the prices.
As you
Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Attention, attention.
Tukachenko grunts. Tukachenko.
Relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, our honest work will make the
excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
What an inhospitable wilderness, you'll say.
Please stand by for decontamination to end.
Wow, look.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
Have a good one.
The scientist looks up.
Ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the dome from the inside.
Welcome to Enter the Dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Howdy.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Come back again.
Ed, spit it out. I can see that something's bothering you.
Well, it's a bit of a private matter, you see.
God. Come on already.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World
How can I help?
place.
Have a good one.
Damn it.
Employee, please come here. There's an urgent task. Well, hello there.
Come on, don't be shy.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
It was nice chatting.
Stop fiddling with the lock.
Attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
And I was starting to get bored. See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the
Listen to this information.
with me, Victoria Legrand. As you can see, there are endless salt pans in the western region behind me. The sun reflects blindingly from the subway.
Winston's leather boots creak.
The men's guessing. What an inhospitable wilderness, you'll say. And I fully agree with you. But what if I told you that in a year,
Our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology.
Pity Stein isn't seeing this.
The giant display glows welcomingly when you approach. A red light comes on under the screen's steel hood. The camera is switched on. A gray old man with high cheekbones appears and squints out at you from the screen.
Do you copy?
He leans close to the camera, his glasses glittering.
My name is Martin Kingsley. I'm Chief Officer of Magellan Base. We were supposed to meet in person, but unforeseen circumstances prevented that. One moment. I'll grab your file.
He reaches for something out of view and produces a thin folder with your name on the cover. Apparently, your file. Kingsley opens the folder to thumb through the pages. He marks one of the pages with a pencil.
Well. So you're in Blue Wing. A solid choice. Does it run in the family? Or did the role attract you for some other reason?
Martin's gaze grows a little bit warmer.
I know well what that feels like.
He quickly jots something down in your records. Kingsley closes the file and folds his hands in front of him.
Thank you for your reply. I learned a little more about you. Now I want you to learn a little bit more about us. Keep in mind, this is not a rehearsed speech.
He assumes a serious expression.
When the dome was discovered in 1971, it became a scientific and media sensation, a worldwide phenomenon, and likely the most significant discovery in the history of mankind.
Kingsley drums his fingers on the unseen desk, his gaze focused somewhere beyond.
I see. You were enticed here by radio advertising, telefilms, and all those interviews, billboards at every turn. CRONUS wants the world to see the dome as a stage where something merry and fascinating is going on. But now that you're actually here, I want you to see the real picture.
You can't make out his eyes behind the glare on his spectacles, but he seems to be staring directly at you.
Here's the truth. Nobody was waiting for us inside the dome. It's neither a treasury of technologies nor a cemetery of the ancients. Perhaps what we're doing now is defusing the world's most complicated bomb. Will our mission thrive? I believe so. If we work together and everybody does their part.
He looks back at your file.
I say, do what must be done. Because that's what the concept of the 5 wings is all about.
Kingsley points at the camera.
You're from Blue Wing. You're looking at the world's most complicated infrastructure, and that complexity keeps growing. Your duties are not limited to maintenance and service. You'll be keeping up the image of the world in its accustomed form. Without hot water and electricity, people will revert to beasts in an astonishingly short order, though it might seem that.
Putting the folder aside, he sits back and stares at you in silence. It gets so quiet that the ticking of a clock can be heard through the speakers. Kingsley sighs quietly.
You were probably waiting for some boilerplate welcome speech, but I prefer to talk about real-world problems. Glad to meet you.
Martin nods slowly.
I apologize once again for this long-distance meeting. Now, as we don't have much time, I'd like to get to the point. I'm sure you're curious why you were taking off the bus to Magellan and brought here instead.
He moves closer to the camera.
I'm going to show you a short video. Please pay attention.
Kingsley's face freezes on screen.
I have an urgent mission for an employee of your background and qualifications. I'd have assigned someone from Magellan, but I'm short on personnel. That's why it has to be a newcomer. I apologize again for the rush, but it seems I have no choice.
Martin noisily clears his throat.
Maybe you've heard about Nashville Base. While preparing the materials for this mission, I came across a short documentary film about the complex. I think you should watch it.
The speakers produce a hollow click. Purple, gray, and black spots flicker on the screen. A blurred title, The CRONUS Archive 1971 to 1974, was used in the production of this recording, appears at the bottom. The shadow of an airplane flies across a faded yellow desert. A cheery voice fills the room. Every day, our researchers uncover more and more of the dome's secrets. There is no doubt the underground structures, so-called objects, are organized according to some pattern. Though early on, the importance of the relics to scientific research was considered insignificant. The desert dims into the black of a chalkboard. White lines drawn by an invisible hand begin to sketch a schematic of the dome. The narrator continues. By 1972, however, many important discoveries had come to light in a period of only a few months, and the construction of stationary research bases adjacent to the more promising objects began. Personnel moved into Ankara in May of 1972, and within half a year, Boston and Dessau were also brought into service, though the biggest discovery was yet to come. The picture changes to a chasm suffused with electric light, people bustling about everywhere. The speaker's voice seems to come from a distance. In November of 1973, a massive network of underground caves and a structure of hitherto unseen complexity was discovered in Sector C-12. Soon afterwards, the construction of C-12 Nashville began. The camera glides through dim caverns as the silhouettes of bizarre mechanisms emerge. Metal structures loom up from the dark, surrounded by earth-moving machines and exhausted miners wearing orange jumpsuits. The speaker continues. C-12 Nashville is an innovative research complex located atop the primary relic mining location. The complexity of this object is unique. Communications. The film abruptly cuts out, and Kingsley's face reappears.
The rest of this information is classified. Hopefully you get the main idea. Nashville is a very special place, requiring people with both special qualifications and special clearance level, though yours will do for your task.
The chief officer bends threateningly close to the camera.
I thought I made myself clear. That information is classified.
Martin adjusts his glasses.
So, the task. Nashville base stopped transmitting and receiving signals yesterday evening. A reconnaissance group was sent out earlier today, but we haven't heard anything from them yet either.
The chief officer rubs his forehead.
Normally, I would never give this task to a newcomer like yourself, but I just don't have enough people.
He looks down at the documents again.
Furthermore, the group was lacking someone with your specialization. The communication problem appears to be more severe than I thought. Nashville's technicians could use another Blue Winger's help.
Kingsley is looking into the camera once more.
Your task is to get to Nashville, figure out whatever's behind the communication problem, get in touch with the group, and work with them to solve the problem.
The chief officer carefully returns the documents to the folder. You notice his hands tremble slightly.
Go downstairs. The truck must be waiting for you in storage. This task is urgent, but a small delay is acceptable if there's anything you need to settle here first. That is all. Any questions?
Kingsley's hand reaches toward the camera.
Great to hear. Take care of yourself. I'll talk to you later.
Storm ends and then go.
I'm all ears. Come back again.
Good day to you. Have a good.
The highway leading to C-12 Nashville is blocked by an anomalous storm, and you're forced to detour over a mountain pass. Soon, the radiator boils over, and you have to stop. Clara lifts up the hood and thoroughly examines the steaming radiator.
The engine's boiling, so we'll have to wait. You do know what happens when a car boils, right? It's...
The Blue shuts her mouth abruptly and stares anxiously at the dark funnel cloud dancing on the horizon. Now that you're on higher ground, it's clear that the storm has overtaken a fairly large section of road. It will be difficult to pass. The Blue looks at the engine again.
We wait. As soon as it cools down, we'll go. This storm worries me more, but it's not an insurmountable problem. I heard there are some relics at the local gas station that protect against anomalies. You could even accidentally step on one out here, they say. Mysterious are the ways of the Lord.
Your companion perks up a bit. She seems to be interested in this subject.
This place is registered as a resource anomaly zone. Do you know what that is? It's when the relics mined there have been studied and deemed useful.
The Blue looks at the storm once more.
There've been more and more of these lately, and they're getting stronger. I personally think it's divine judgment for how we've squandered the riches under the dome.
She sighs and squirms.
I knew people who got caught in one of those storms. They blow up so fast, there's no chance to get away. God rest their souls.
The Blue makes the sign of the cross. Morgan thinks for a moment.
It's a combination cafe gas station called Roadside Picnic. Never been there myself, but there's something off about it. There are several anomalies around there and weird relics. Supposedly, machines and structures decay much faster than they should in that area. But maybe that's just a story.
Oh, hello there. Have a good one.
to meet you. It was nice chatting.
the hell goes there? Come on in, since you're already here.
A weird, scruffy old man with a matted beard is sitting in front of the checkout terminal. The badge on his blue jumpsuit is long since bleached away. The name Aaron Melville is written there in black marker. With a groan, he picks up a magnifying glass and, peering through it, begins poking at the keyboard with one knobby finger. The old man angrily sets the magnifying glass aside.
A Grandmaster? You're a piece of junk, not a Grandmaster. And a cheater to boot.
He raises his head to squint in your direction.
Eh? What do you want? I don't advise eating here, and there's nothing to buy. And either way, we're closed.
The shopkeeper rises from his seat, and you notice he's sporting a peg where his left leg should be. The old man frowns and sniffles loudly.
You want to write a complaint? Go ahead.
He looks at you for a minute. When he realizes you're not going to complain, the surly expression slowly leaves his face. The angry look turns to a sad one. After a brief pause, he speaks again.
Yeah, well, I do have some problems.
The old man lowers his voice, almost to a whisper.
The oranges pick on me. Escapees by the look of it. They demand food, money, gas. I've got a turret at the entrance, but it doesn't do no shit. I stand in, screwed something up with the circuitry in the basement. Gotta take a look when I get a chance. But with my leg acting up, those rickety stairs just ain't my cup of tea. So here I am, sitting and playing chess, waiting for those bastards to come back.
Melville's getting grim again. He adds,
It's my business, and you'd best stay out of it. But if you want to, here's the key. Go down to the basement and see if you can do something with the generator. Maybe you can get the turret to work. That'd make things easier.
The old man sniffs, annoyed.
Get some noodles from the vending machine there. I told you we're closed. There aren't any deliveries.
The old man throws up his hands with a scowl.
Then go fix it.
Melville reluctantly points a crooked finger at the front door.
Go out there and walk over to the gas station. Go down to the basement. There's an anomaly, a tree. It's glowing. And there are some golden thingies hanging off it. We make special devices from that fruit called anomaly protectors. Should one be laying around on the floor, go grab it, then put it in the truck and bug off to... Where was it you was going to? That's where you bug off to.
The blue starts slapping the pockets on his overalls. After a little digging, he pulls out a little key on a shoelace.
Only take the device, you hear? It's company property. I should be charging you myself, as a matter of fact.
The old man sits at the counter with his head propped in one hand.
No food, no supplies, and the coffee is horse shit. Get out of here. Oh, it's you again. How should I know? They came in and sat down. Ask them yourself.
Want some more magic pills, child?
Oh, Rabbi.
Greetings. Why should we depend on rational knowledge? Reason leads us up a blind alley over and over again. There are only two true paths to knowledge.
The old man sits at the counter with his head propped. The old man squints and gives you a silly smile.
Huh. So it's like that. Well, thank you. Thank you. I didn't think you'd be any good.
Eat shit and die.
Now you're gonna get it.
I'll make research samples out of you.
That's it. Your ass is grass.
Guys, take down this scum.
What's wrong with you, huh? Huh?
Someone catch us on camera.
It'll be more effective this
Poke you in the eye with my shank. Reloading.
I'm warning you. I know Kung Fu.
With his gang problem solved, Melville is visibly more hospitable.
I'm sorry for bitching at you, sweetheart. My mood hasn't been great this last couple of weeks. Would you like some coffee? Because I could...
The old man takes off his plastic leg and wraps it on the counter.
Hey, anybody want some coffee? Coffee, come on.
You can't tell if Aaron is coughing or laughing.
Well, it's seething with life. People come and go. White-wingers hanging around the swamp. One such fella came along today, walking around poking things with that scanner of his. Doesn't shake hands with people. What kind of guy is that?
The old man leans close and continues in a confidential tone.
I used to have a gizmo of sorts. It warmed stuff up better than any heater. And when they saw it, their eyes almost bugged out of their heads. They took it away from me. It's dangerous, they said. What else? Well, sometimes bandits show up. Get pounded on the head occasionally. Not as often as I'd like, but there it is.
The old man gives you a smile of satisfaction. The blue grunts like a goose.
Well, I cook for myself here. It's, you know, an acquired taste.
The old man sighs in sadness.
What life? I'm an old man. Life? My ass.
The old man scrubs his bald spot.
That'd be my stand-in, I think. And here I reckon reckoned he'd gone and quit on me. Could smell the stench from the cellar. Thought a rat croaked down there.
Listening to your story, he shakes his head in amazement.
You say it didn't even look like a person? Oh, I had a bad feeling about this place from the start. Not good at all, I'm telling you. Hey, sweetheart! Wait a minute! Hold up!
The Blue, he looks a bit confused.
I was just, I was thinking... I wanted to thank you. Maybe we could go on a picnic. You like picnics, don't you?
Aaron smiles. His expression is both silly and sincere.
Look, there's a cliff nearby. Lovely place. I got a cook pot already there. A comfy piece of tarpaulin, too. And the logs are alive. Even got a little bottle stashed away.
Melville grunts, reaches under the counter and pulls out a bulky bag smelling of onions. The old man lays out the bag's contents on the counter. Canned pork, onions, eggs, and potatoes. He looks quite proud of his stash.
What's a picnic without snacks? Here, I'm gonna teach you my family recipe for pulled pork. First, you have to boil the eggs, and then...
Gesturing excitedly, the old man reveals the secrets of Melville family cuisine.
I'd cook it myself, but I'm sure you can do better. See the stove behind me? There you go. Use it. Go ahead and cook.
The Blue rakes the food back into the bag and gives it to you. Aaron stares into his screen and mutters to himself. He notices you.
Ah!
Squinting skeptically, Aaron takes a piece of pork and tries it.
Well, what do you know? That came out pretty good.
He lowers his voice.
There's that guy with the rock, the white by the swamp, and those two hippies. Ask them if they want to sit with us, too. If you got anybody else in mind, call them, too. More people, more fun.
Oh, good day. Why should we...
Hello? Come back again.
Glad to meet you. I hope to see you again soon.
Clara briefly looks up from poking around the engine.
So, how's the situation? Sure you don't...
You see doubt in Blue's eyes.
I don't know.
Clara returns to her room.
You remember us passing a supermarket last week? I'm thinking about that purse with glass beads. It's a shame I didn't buy it.
Do not attach yourself to earthly things.
Clara briefly looks up from poking around the engine.
So, how's the situation?
A vague smile appears on the Blue's face.
Really? That's good news. We could have been stuck in here for a long time. Radio's still not working.
Clara slides off the truck's caterpillar track, letting you get to the motor compartment. The old man's face is red from drink and ecstatically happy.
See? 'Twas a good sitting, all right. Should have called your friend over, too. Damn fine girl. Curly...
He hiccups. Aaron stares into his screen and mutters to himself.
Where am I gonna get all them pawns? You filthy dog.
He notices you.
Ah!
Well... Come on, don't be shy. See ya! Salutations. I hope to see you again soon.
shuts the hood.
Truck is ready. Shall we get moving?
The blue unscrews a nozzle from under the block, examines it, then screws it back in place.
Huh? The mission? I missed that part. Sorry. Kingsley told me to take you to your group. They've lost connection with them. You don't know anything about that, do you?
The woman distracts herself from the repairs for a moment.
It was what they call a divine providence. I wasn't content with my life. Felt like he was putting my faith to the test. I was angry with him and wished he would send me a miracle.
She stares past you into the distance, her face radiant.
One day, I suddenly realized the Lord had already shown me a real miracle. My false pride made me think the miracle should be for my eyes only, but it was for everyone to witness. Do you understand?
She smiles condescendingly, as if you were a small child.
I mean the dome. The Lord has sent us all of this to let us know that He is near, watching us.
She falls silent, but can barely contain her excitement. As you approach Nashville, the realization hits you that something is definitely wrong. The boom at the security checkpoint is up, and the turret indicators are glowing red. Black smoke rises over the parking lot. The automatic guns beep and direct their gun barrels at your vehicle. You and Morgan exchange concerned looks. Clara floors it. The engine roars as the tractor truck speeds past the turrets and leaves the danger zone. The road turns left, and you're on the main road leading to the complex. There are bodies everywhere, but no visible survivors. Morgan crosses herself and whispers a prayer. Through the smoke-filled air, you see the red lights of a new batch of turrets taking aim at your vehicle. Morgan, pale as death itself, obeys you and floors it. The vehicle reaches a fork near the main entrance to the base. The concrete walls are covered in bullet holes and surrounded by blood, fire, and bodies shot to smithereens. Struggling not to vomit, the blue squeezes her face into the wheel. She's not praying anymore, just whimpering quietly, "Good Lord, good Lord." Another set of turrets greet you at the central entrance with warning beeps and hostile red lights. The truck skids, bypassing the turrets and sliding into the parking lot. Fortunately, this is outside the turret's firing range. Clara opens the door and falls out of the truck with a groan. You also climb out. Sitting beside the truck track, you lift your head to see Nashville ablaze. Black smoke billowing overhead and intertwining with the maelstrom above the station. It whirls slowly and majestically, hundreds of tiny green lightning bolts flashing silently in the epicenter. Clara lifts her eyes to the sky, mesmerized by the whirlpool of clouds.
We need to scout the surroundings.
You nod in agreement. Morgan is right. It's time you figured out what happened here.